All right, we're back for our guns and our value targets update for the back end of round one. Obviously, the 2 games are done. We have 6 remaining, and plenty has changed, obviously, around different positions. The center position has changed, so that means that maybe you don't have to spend up a crazy amount in the center position. Maybe you look at the wing fullbacks to spend up a bit on, as you saw the fullbacks that have already played scored really, really well. Do you look at the mid and the edge targets for points? Like the hooking positions change, so plenty to talk about in this one. I've spoken a lot about a bunch of these guys, and some of these guys I haven't spoken much on, so we'll brush over some of them fairly quickly as good or bad options, and then other guys that you can definitely have a look at in your sides. And so you've got the cashies, you've got the guns and the value. You're going to get Scoop's thoughts this evening as well, which is going to be plenty of fun. So let's kick it off here with our hooker guns. And Harry Grant, I think, is the best option out of these 4. Obviously, the tougher draw at the bye in round 4. If you don't like that, then that's fine. Move on to a Robson or a Marshall King or a Coruscant. So Coruscant there, I think if you like him, I have no qualms about him at all. I haven't spoken about him too much. Now he's goal kicking. It's an extra 5 points or so per game, you'd imagine, for Appy, which is great. He fits well with Brandon Smith if he's the guy that you decide to choose. I've obviously popped him out of this video given he has already played. But with Lussick and Hands there in the value, they're both pretty gross now, because I think, Lussick starting probably too expensive for 55 to 60 minutes. If it was in the 300s, we'd say, yep, just buy. But 460 odd or whatever he was, not great on that front. We would have wanted Hands at that bit of a cheaper price, which we haven't got. So do you go for a singular gun up top? Grant Robson, Marshall King, Coruscant to kick things off, and look to get a Brandon Smith if you haven't got him. That's something that I'm looking at personally, and some of my strategy down below will make more sense of that. You will be getting my team reveal tomorrow again if I can access the app. Facebook anyway, the login. For those that didn't catch that in the last video, I can't log in actually to my team right now, given I've got a log in through Facebook. So that's a tough one. I have emailed them. They have said that they've noticed the issue and they're working on it. They're like, in the meantime, log in another way. I'm like, that's the only way to log in if you're logging in through Facebook. Anyway, let's just hope it gets resolved sometime today so I can reveal my team tomorrow and don't have to make a brand new one. But that's the update on that. If you but yeah, more people email them, the better probably. So yeah, that's the theory and the thoughts here now, guys. Is that I could maybe move to like a Brandon Smith or see how Robson, Marshall King go. Marshall King, once his buy's done in round 3, if he looks good, then he could be a guy to target as well. So these are the things I'm looking at in my side, and you can play a similar strategy at that. But they're all good options, guys. No issues with any of them that you select. We'll go to the mid guns now. Isaiah Yeo, Cam McInnes, Tohu Harris, Jack DeBellant, and Joe Tarpany are the 5 guys that I would be looking at selecting that are well into the 650 plus range. So that's the good news. How you decide to pick them, where you get the money from, if you've already gone for a Payne Haas or a Cam Murray, that is the issue. And a big thanks to all of you guys for watching these videos. You're absolute legends. I hope your team selection and setting it up and you're hopefully going good so far in the first couple of games. But Isaiah Yeo with the early-ish buy in round 6, he's consistent as awesome vice captain option. If you haven't made your team, and I might have to make a new one. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, Yeo, awesome guy. Does he have the 76 upside? Yeah, he's got plenty of 70 games in his range when he plays the full 80 minutes. That's the big thing with him. Cam McInnes, guys, the question marks here is just the minute. So they've got a really big middle forward bench, and then Hamlin Ueli to come back as well in the next few games. So he needs 55 to 60 minutes to sort of make that 100K, which could be awesome. Does he play 45 to 50 in the middle, spell Brayley for 10 to 15 a hooker? It's potentially an option for him. Just with the way that they're set up, do a lot of these guys play big minutes? The Royce Hunts, the Hazletons, these types of guys? No. Are any of them massive middle forwards? No. So that's probably the thing you want to look at with McInnes. So he could be the guy to get good minutes, and the rest of the guys are playing between 25 to sort of 45 max. Because that's where you can see Finucane, that's where you could see Toby Rudolph, these types of guys, as potentially 40 to 45, and then the other guys being lower. So McInnes could definitely get to 60, and if he gets to 60 minutes, he's a really, really good purchase, and I'm flirting with him in my side right now. Someone I'm also flirting with at the moment, Tohu Harris. I really want him in my team, guys, and there's no way real else to say it. He's an absolute gun, and if he's fit, the way that this bench is set up, it looks like he's going to play close to 80 minutes, and if he's doing that, I'm expecting a 60 plus in his first couple of games. And obviously he's very, very well known to get knocks and have issues with his body. His knees are still heavily strapped in the trials, but you look at that trial, guys, it's 42 tackles for 0 misses, 120 odd run meters for a couple of tackle breaks, and he didn't even play close to huge minutes in that one. So he is just always going to be a guy that scores really well, and at 734, obviously 30k more expensive than McInnes, but can you take both? If you didn't go Murray Haas, can you take both of those guys? You definitely could. And I think if you like Tohu, get him. I'm definitely won't be pushing away from him. Jack de Belin. I've cooled a little bit, as I kind of said in the previous one. The bench is pretty good for him, I think, to be honest with you, for him to get 65 to 70 minutes, which I mentioned in yesterday's team list analysis video. Wouldn't push you away, as I always say, from Jack in this one. There's a little bit of a worry. Obviously, the minutes were unsure, whereas we're pretty sure with Tohu. We're sure with Isaiah Yeo. McInnes, we're unsure as well. So, do you want to spend that extra 80 odd K to get to him rather than going to McInnes when you're unsure on both their minutes? And de Belin needs more to be worth it. Joe Taps, very, very dominant force. Obviously, we sort of said, in the video I saw of him talking yesterday to reporters, saying it's his first full preseason in a long time. He came back a lot earlier. He was gunning the All-Stars. Does that mean that he potentially gets a few more minutes to kick things off? He doesn't have to work into the season, because we see with him sort of from round 8, 9, 10 through the Origin period, he plays bigger minutes and can have really big games in there. We know he doesn't need huge minutes to score well, but we would like him somewhere around the 55 rather than being the 49 and these types of minutes that we do see from him. So if you're on and keen on Tups, then go for it. Mid value. All right, Cotter, Elliott, Josh Curran, and Flegler, the only guys that remain in this list. A lot of the other guys have played currently, and then there's obviously the options above, like I said. But in terms of their value, it's obviously Reuben Cotter. I think just ahead of Elliott. I think Elliott's going to get the 55 to 60 minutes or so. Score pretty well. Up and down, though. Cotter probably has a little bit more consistency, which is funny to say with how his scores have been. But when he's fit, before Origin, 2022 was amazing. Last year was still fairly good before Origin, and the minutes seem to drop off there. So I think he's a sell by around 13, but before then, he could definitely make 100, 150k, score really well, and be just an awesome, cheap mid, rather than going up to the McInnes and the Harris and these types of guys. So slot him in. Adam Elliott, still a great option, I think, guys. If you, again, can't go up to these guys and you need someone a bit cheaper, think you want someone in your team that's very, very locked into their team and their role in the team. Adam Elliott, is that guy. Will he get there from round 1? He could get a 40 in round 1, could get a 60 in round 2, could go the other way. We don't know with him. That's the thing. But he's fit, and that's all the news that you need with Adam Elliott, I think, at that price of 570 odd. Joshy Curran. Dual position. 501k is the awkward part, obviously, and he's likely to be a 45 to 50 middle, potentially with a little bit, 10 to 15 minutes on that left edge for Vil Kikau. I think will be the way that they play this thing. So it still could be 50 odd minutes, but he just comes on at 25 and then doesn't go back off. That could be the potential there. And whenever Kikau gets his rest, whether it's at the end of the game, whether it's at 30th minute, where's the 35th minute, whatever it is, the 50th minute that Kikau gets some rest, that the Curran's going to be on there, can move to there, then move back to the middle. That's where I see it. So I still think he can make some money, but it's a little bit yuck at this point. Flags, nothing's changed with him. I think he's 5 points value, could do a job, but not for me with the buy in round 3. I'm rhyming so well. The edge guns, guys. So Hopgood, he's a top tier guy that I think some people are looking at, and I think it's for good reason. He's an awesome, awesome player. The dual position's awesome. Yeah, as I said, good VC option. So he's a top tier guy, dual position. Going to be good. Minutes, I think, will be there. 65 or so. Probably all he needs at this point. Close to a point a minute. Eli Katoa, guys, in the gun section, he's a little bit underpriced in the 650s. I expect a 50 average, so he's probably 70k undervalued at this point. And it's really just the buy in round 4 with how many Storm guys you've got. Now we've got Joe Chan as well. That becomes a little bit of an issue for Eli Katoa, but a great option. Got Preston and Frizzell then, 3 and 4. Nothing's changed with these guys. I still think they're awesome options. Again, around that 700k price that you can get McInnes at, but if you need an edge instead, and that's how you want to play it, then these two are awesome. great bye schedules across the the entirety of the season. Likely not to play Origin, especially Preston, but Frizzell maybe a small chance. But the way Olakau'atu played the other day, surely he's in line for that spot. Let's go to Helam Lukey in the edge value, guys. So, yeah, superb upside, obviously. The volatility is kind of the worry with him, I would say, because he could get sort of 60, 70, 80 we've seen, and then he could get a 25 to 30 in that likely 60 to 65 minutes because of Finne Firiaki, who's going to be on the interchange bench and will likely take some minutes off him. That's expected at this point. If he goes bigger minutes than that, it's even better. So at 498, he's not an absolute slam dunk, but I do think that he could be a 50 average guy. And we've seen that in the past when he plays 70 minutes before he got injured, the ACL. That is where you want to be at with Lukey, that's for sure. So look at him. All right, now a little bit of a contentious one. Someone has come into my potential thoughts and teams at the moment. If I cannot change my team, right, because I can't log in, then Smithies will be in my team, because he's currently in there. So look with Smithies, I see him as a stepping stone, and I expect him to score well over the first few weeks. So you imagine 50 to 60 minutes for Morgan, and he's had, the minutes aren't going to be an issue for him. He's played 80 minutes in a grand final, made 50 odd tackles, 150 meters, right? That's where he's at. He got the 23 points in 27 minutes in that trial the other day. They just played him a few minutes. It looks like anyone that was a really important cog in this team was put on ice and didn't play, or he wanted to get a little bit of game time, obviously, given he's never played in the NRL. So I'm expecting the first 2 weeks to be somewhere between 45 to 55 points, and I'm potentially going to use him as a stepping stone to get to a Brandon Smith or a hooker that I'll need from sort of round 2, round 3, or round 4. Right, with Horsburgh coming back in round 3. That's my general thoughts on Smithies. And if I am looking to get rid of a Satilli next week, or however I'm going to play that's where Smithies can do well. He's not going to be for everyone at all, but I'm trying to lock in some points, and he'll make a little bit of cash on that. The dual position with the mid as well is super helpful over the first few weeks, and we'll just see what happens. He could be a really, really important guy, and Horsburgh is the player to get sort of 50 minutes again, rather than going up into the 65s. If Smithies can play anywhere up close to that 60 minutes or go even more, he's one of those guys I think has the motor that if there's injuries around, he could go up from that. So no Whitehead, no Horsburgh. He's definitely someone to be looking at. And the last one, I don't know why I end up forgetting him. I put him in the Supercoach one, but Zach Hosking. Okay, let's just get him up actually on Footy Stats, because that's exactly what we want to look at there. You're looking at my head-to-head team that just popped up, which, cool. Lucky you if you get to see that. Awesome. Thanks for watching. You get to see the sneak peeks. But let's look at Hosking, right? So for him, when he plays second row, we're looking at minutes of 68 and an average score of 50 fantasy points, right? So he's priced at a 42. The big thing with Hosking at the moment is the fact that Whitehead's going to be out for, I'd say, a month, right? So soft tissue injury, calf, they seem to linger, NRL Physio tells us. And if that's the case, then Hosking has some value on his 584 price point. So you saw the first 2 games, he scored tries last year, and they were in big minute games. So if you isolate those to the big minute games, which is what we expect, he's a 58.9. So it does make him very, very difficult to leave out of sides, to be honest with you, at 584. We know what he can do. And this was in a sort of a very dominant Penrith side, is when you're looking at Hosking's numbers here, and then a few games there for the Broncos as well, where he didn't get any attacking stats. He's only got 3 games with attacking stats, 94, 59, 54. All the others, when he plays huge minutes there, he's a 59 guy. So a little bit less than that, you take out the 94, but that's his up. That's the upside of him. And he's got a 71 with big, tackle numbers and tackle breaks. So he's a 3 tackle break a game, an offloader a game, 112 meters gained. There's a couple of those ones with the Panthers that got real low at 89 and 45, 100, just because they had more options, right? Other than Hosking to kind of use, and they like to bring a lot of their players back, back through the middle, unders lines and all that kind of stuff that, with Hosking, I think that he's going to be pretty important next to Fogarty as well. He's definitely someone that I am now, as I'm speaking to you, talking myself into at 584, that's for sure. And I think he leaves me It is a bit gross, like talking to a few people how many like Raiders players we're going to end up with. But Hosking's one of those players that in this type of game, he's going to be very defensive minded. He has 50 tackles in his wheelhouse. The games that he gets over 40 tackles there, you see a 94 for him. You see a 57, you see a 49, that's 4 missed tackles and no run meters, 45 run meters. And you do see a 57 down below. So price of 42, the lowest one there was a 49 in that one, and that's when he had 4 missed tackles, which is a high. Apart from that last one there, 6 missed tackles in 2022, again a while ago now, that you're looking at there obviously as well. So again, you take out the 94 if you wanted to, and he's down at sort of a 54, 55, which is 12 points of value for a month of footy with no one biting on his heels. Could score tries in some weeks, obviously against like the Tigers, could be a cool one. Yeah, I think I'm talking myself into Zach Hosking as we speak. Interesting. Let me know what your thoughts are on him. Obviously over 60 minutes, it drops to a 56. That's with 75 minutes, so I think you can expect somewhere around there. If we do over 50 minutes, that's at a 71. I think at minimum he gets 70 minutes, and that's almost 10 points of value at a 51.6. And the lows there, it's a 31 last year with, again, only 66 meters run, which I think you'll get more than that. The back end of last year, he played 2 games there, 50 minutes and 51. He did look like he struggled a bit just through the vigors of playing, like a lot of the year. He seemed to get tired for sure. He might have been carrying a couple of niggles as well. We don't know because his PPM went massively down. 20 and 26 tackles just wasn't really happening for him in those types of minutes. But again, you're looking at Panthers winning 40-14 and losing 32-18. So 50 points in that one, 60 points or something in the other one. I think that they're going to be a little bit lower scoring, and Raiders teams, we see them just absolutely dominate through the tackles and through the middle. So Hosking's one of those guys. So have a look at Hosking, and that's that. I'll update that, and that'll be sweet from there. Cool, that was fun. Is he on your side now? That's the question. Too many Raiders. There's too many Raiders. The half guns, Cleary's up top, number 1 still. I've got Fogg still at number 2. Just at the price point, the strange thing hurts a little bit. I'm cooling a tiny bit on Foggs, and if I'm looking to get Hosking in my side, how many of these Raiders can we get? That's the big worry, obviously. But he's been put on ice in the trials. Can I go more than Morgan Smithies and Hosking? Wow. He's put on ice for the trials. He's so important to this team. He should goal kick, guys. Like, there's the stats I was looking at for Strange. He wasn't kicking New South Wales Cup. Let me know if that's wrong, but I think it was like 12 games or something last year. No goals. So Fogg's will be kicking. The worry obviously is the hamstring niggle that he's been carrying. Does he start a little bit slower? All valid questions for sure, and reasons why you could let him go and just play with the the value that's on offer in the Strangers cover, Hutchison, Flanagan, these types of guys. All options there for sure. Mitch Moses is next on the list, guys. If you're looking at him, definitely do so. He's potentially 5 points undervalued if the team starts playing better, because he was great last year. He looked awesome in the trials, just missed a lot of tackles, so he needs to fix that. But he was getting pummeled against, who was it? Tino. Tino was smashing him. So that's not going to happen every week, but there are big forwards like that. They will run at him for sure. Johnson's next on the list. I do have him over Hines just because of the price. A little bit cheaper. Obviously, it's hard to get both Cleary and Hines. So Johnson's the next guy with the Warriors flying. We're not sure how the Sharks are going to look, and you get to see Trindle next to him. So, and the quad strain. There's a few things going on. Johnson, great option. Will he run as much? Not sure. Got Metcalf that can take over a bit, who's looking good as well. Who we'll speak about now with the half value. Trindle and Metcalf there. I had there if Hines happens to not play round 1, there are worse picks, but now that he's there, I don't think you can select him. Metcalf, I thought TK was talking about him. I've got him in my Supercoach team, so I definitely like him. A little bit of a love interest given one of my good mates is best mates with him. So that's kind of where we're at with those half picks. The centre guns, so on that level there, we're looking at three guys there. It's Penasini, it is Val Holmes, and it is Isaac Tungo. That's kind of the main ones. That if there's other guys in here, they're dual position in the wing fullbacks. I'll speak about them in a sec. But Penasini is obviously cheaper than a few of the other top guys in the list. He does look like he's taking the leap. I think he's, got some value. He plays way better with Moses, scores better down that right-hand side. He's definitely still a really good option. Obviously, with Strange and Trbojevic doing really well, it's hard to sort of get another expensive guy that's not dual, given there's a few dual options. So Penasini, solid one to look at for sure. Let me know what you think on that one. Val Holmes, guys, team was pretty poor last year. Still a great option if you're looking at him. Same with Tungo. Great option. Team's going to be awesome. He's awesome. Leave it at that. The center value picks, guys. Moses Sully is still up top there. Got Ramian and Tessie New. So with Sully at 450 odd K, it's a short enough price and a low enough price that he's actually someone that could have some value. I think up to sort of that 8 points of value, he looked better. If the Dragons play okay, he will score well and make a little bit of money. So minimum 50K, could be up to 100K, and that could be awesome for your side. So look at Sully. Definitely no issues. We've been speaking about him for a while. Raymond, I think that has the highest chance of getting some boom games and making some good money and having a hot start. So Raymond, keep him in your thoughts. A bunch of people are talking about Tessie New as well. Wing fullback, dual center, now that he's playing center long term. He does look improved, so he's not someone I've spoken about much, but I don't see the big points upside. He could definitely do it. Buy him around 3 hertz. He has a career average of 34 across wing and center. A little bit of fullback, I think. 36.6 at center with sort of like 9 games, with 2 scores last year in the last couple of games for him of 46 and 48 over here, his last 2 games of the season. So he could definitely hit that 36.6, price to 31. Does he have the 40s upside? I'm not sure, but I think mid to high 30s upside there and definitely some value. Dual position. Yeah, I'm not going to push you away again, as I say that one. All right, wing fullback guns. Let's finish it off. So you got Ponga up top, Drinky, Taylor May, and Roger Tuivasa Schnack. So Ponga, best fullback. You saw what the other fullbacks were able to do. Ponga has really, really high upside. So you can go for 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s for sure. Like if he plays anything like the second half of last year, lock him in. No problem at all. Drinkwater looked awesome in the trial, but we need him to make sure that his running game is on like it was in the mid part of last year. I would probably go for, in this group, Ponga, then Taylor May, and I would leave the other 2, Drinky and Roger. So Taylor, he's got the dual now. Super talented, great team, as we've been saying. He's definitely someone that I think could score really well. Got a 55 in the centres with a try disallowed at the end in that World Club Challenge. That was the hit out he needed. I think he's going to do really, really well, even against tougher opponents. So if you're looking at Taylor, I will not push you away from that either. And then the wing fullback value, guys. So you got Pap Kiraz, who has the dual centre, or Geordie Rapana, and then Hammer. So he's got the dual centre as well. So all 4 of these guys are very, very interesting. I'm not personally looking at the Hammer, but I know people are. And can he take the next step as a dual position player? I think he's a solid pick. So he's at fullback, right? That's really, really important compared to being at centre or something like that. So Hammer could do great buying round 3. Let's go to Pap now. We've cleared. Most people are just going to take him. Let's hope he scores well. Let's hope he gets back to his full fitness, because if he does, he's going to be awesome. Don't expect the world in round 1 against the Penrith Panthers. Final 2, guys. We've got, again, just a big thank you for watching all these videos. You're absolute legends. Hope those teams are locked in. Let me know in the comments where you're at with your teams. I do look at them all. Sometimes I don't get a chance to reply. Got plenty going on, but thank you for commenting down there. I do see them all at least, so appreciate it. Kiraz, centre dual. He's the next best points and value guy, I think, in this list. Obviously, Pap has the high upside. Kiraz, I think the consistency, fun to watch, the offloader, tackle breaker. Going to get some good defense in this as well. So with that center dual, I've been talking about him all preseason as having about 7 points of value, I think, there. For a guy that's priced in the mid 500s, that could be cool to get him into the 600s and do a good job. That right-hand side looks really good too. It's going to be sort of Hutcho, Preston, Kiraz, and Blake Wilson, who's an absolute gun too. So that's really strong. I can see him scoring points, obviously good base, getting some tackle breaks, getting some offload, line break assists, potentially coming back through on the inside for him to get a try, or Wilson's going to finish them off, which is awesome. Preston's good through that side, and there's plenty going to be happening there as well. Kiraz is someone I'm looking at having in my side as that wing fullback centre dual, potentially to cover Keanu Keeney in that second round. If I can't get to Turbo, I'll still be able to cover, which would be cool. Geordie Raps. He's a very interesting one. I haven't spoken too much about him because I just wasn't sure if he was going to be sticking at that fullback role, but everything we hear is that Seb Chris is going to go back to centre. And if that's the case, Jordy Rapana needs to be looked at in our side. So that's the question. How long does he play fullback? Because we don't want him at wing. We want him at fullback because he averages 50 at fullback and he's priced at 32, I think. 32. Yeah, just above that of Tessie New, right? And averages 50 and has huge upside. He has 60s games, 50s, 70s, 90s. He's probably someone we can chuck on here as well. Just have a bit of a look at Jordy Raps because he's definitely someone you should look at, right? So winger games, he can be very volatile. He'll score tries, whatever. He'll get 40s, 50s at wing, but we really want him at fullback because you're looking at some awesome scores there. He did have a 16 last year in round 24. They got pumped 48-2. So that's something that's not going to happen often. If he does and he goes that low, then that sucks. He had 5 missed tackles and made 11. So a wild game. 61 run meter is disgusting. Sin bin as well. Low as it can get. Other ones there. 53 when they beat the Tigers, right? 84 when they beat the Dogs. 47 when they lost to the Sharks. So that shows that he has some upside on that. He seems to be a big tackle breaking guy. 15 there. He has 100 in his wheelhouse, and that's only one. That's a try and 2 line breaks. So 95 back in 2021. These are all 21 numbers. The only worrisome ones here are 2022 in round 7 and 8 at 26 and a 30, and that would priced at a 35, I should say, at 487. Tessie News a lot lower, priced at 420 odd. So Jordy Raps definitely has upside. He got 84 last year in round 25 with a try and 3 try assists. It's pretty wild, but he can get big run meters as you see there, 160. He breaks 7 tackles a game. So that in itself is 30 points. And then, any upside with tackles and try assists and tries from there. He could be a guy that could work well to start the season, given he's got the Knights to kick things off. They didn't look amazing in the trial, but and Raiders looked okay, so it could be closer. Tigers in round 2 could be really cool. And then it gets harder with Warriors, Sharks, Para. And maybe he's traded out by then. But if you're looking for a guy that could start well and get you off to an incredible start, probably has like 30 as his downside at fullback, which is only just under where he's priced at. I think you could go for worse options for sure. And I think we're going to leave it at that for this video. Thanks, guys, again. There's a lot of videos coming out today. Appreciate you guys watching them. I really hope they help get your side sorted. I obviously hope that I do well, but I really hope that you guys absolutely crush it because that's the point of this channel, is to get you guys really, really good at this game. I know for a long time there was only sort of 1,000 people that were really, really into this and were really good players. And now I think we're up to the 5,000 to 10,000, which is absolutely incredible. And very hard to stick inside the top 5K now. So awesome, guys. Really hope you've got your team sorted out, and we'll catch you in the next couple of videos. See ya.